Hope all you swabbies are still awake. Late Night Mega here. We have the return of the Drillman switches. It's 17th place by Bucket. It's Into the Furnace with an average score of 70.25. Parmesan and Freems both didn't like this one. MJack really liked it, so who knows, maybe there's going to be a skip teleporter, because that's what we do with good stages nowadays. And PKVG liked it. I like the music to start off with. We've got like a snowy, burning sunset. Okay, I can't turn these back off, so there's that. We're just gonna switch on the snow. Weird place to have a shield detector stop. Really? Whoa! I was not ready for all of that. Okay, what all is going to happen? We're going to completely morph the room. I mean, those are interesting challenges, but it's kind of like surprise. I don't know what's going to happen. What are these things? Oh, that's the gimmick. These fire spewer things. These shield attackers are swapping spaces at the most random spots, I swear. And then we can go up here and do this thing. Okay. Interesting that that's going in, you know, several different patterns. Let's get rid of you. Oh, so I had to put that back down. I don't know, according to MJack, tanking that damage instead of trying to dodge things is more fun. It's not better for my health, though. Where's my last checkpoint? Could I just not hit the driver there? This is kind of a lot to repeat. Also capable of shooting. Well, that may as well just be a bottomless pit. We had Wheel Cutter from Mega Man 10. I could have got myself out of there. Well, that's good, because I want to see about some dodgeability of these things. So we flip that. Flip that. Okay. Oh, because we needed that to make this jump. Although we could have just used Rush over it because, you know, forget about doing the actual challenges and gimmicks of the stage. Okay, so this is just auto-scroller plus, because I'm not able to... I'm able to have lots of issues here. The delay on that. I was just waiting to see if he'd back up. And there's our checkpoint. Well, that was amusing. Yeah, I'm gonna kill that before I let it loose on me. I don't know if that was a good thing to flip or not. Oh, we're not getting up there particularly easily. Oh, I had to flip that one to flip that one to come back and flip that one so I can come up here and flip this one. And I don't know where to go. Okay, so that's got to be up. And this has probably got to be up too. No? No, it does not. Okay, those two are down. Okay, so those two had to be... Yeah, that's a little bit of a guess and test sort of thing. I'm not a fan of that design. Well, that was scary. I would also like some more checkpointing in this stage, because I don't really want to have to repeat stuff. Are things coming back? Oh, there it is. There it is. And some of these, I commented early on how the switches were only flipping once and they wouldn't flip back before. That's obviously not true anymore. There's no real good indication of which ones you're gonna flip back and forth. Dustman on this platform. Alright, I can dig that. Keep your distance over there, if you would. I'll fight him legit. Problem is, I can't hit him legit. Okay, you can stop doing that. I would prefer if you weren't on the same platform as me. I'm just so afraid he's gonna start sucking me in while I'm trying to jump from platform to platform. I like that Dustman fight, though. I always appreciate different, sort of boss fights like that. Okay. Let's take a look at some judge comments. This level has kind of weird checkpoint placement, and not that it just has been too many screens between sections. It just feels like the length of each section and the theming of them is weird. Overall, it's an okay level with its ups and downs, but there's just some weird stuff here to talk about. Like near the start of the level, you have creative setups with levers and tackle fires where you really have to think about where you're gonna stand. Each challenge feels like a problem where you have to think about it for a second about how to solve it. I think those are pretty enjoyable, agreed. But as the level goes on, these fall off, and I think it turns into more action platforming. Going back to what I said about the checkpoints, the first big oddity is putting the Trucker Joe as part of another section without a checkpoint. It's really jarring, and frankly, when you're not expecting it, you sort of spend a second panicking, since it's so different from the rest of the level. It's not a bad section, but when you hop in, you're not ready to just start moving, and then it's way too easy to just die from spikes. Now, this can work if you have a checkpoint, since you could just try again, but you don't. Yeah, like I said, there was not enough checkpoints in that stage for my taste. You get sent so far back for no reason. Similarly, at the last checkpoint before the boss, you have a long and challenging room, but then you have what feels like a final section that's way too short. It just feels like these should be broken up, and the last section could be more of a final challenge. My gosh, you have written a novel like M-Jack. This level just feels like it needs a revision, and what's here is underwhelming. You could definitely turn this into something way better, and it has potential. Of course, I say that, but if I were to become a judge for one of these contests, I would probably be the one to write the novel for almost every single stage. I enjoyed this one a lot. The switches gave every room more layouts, which made them interesting to traverse. I didn't feel like anything was placed in an awkward place, and it made sense to me. I also highly appreciate the simple but effective change to the boss room. Made it a tad more challenging, but in a fun way. Really? This was a 22 out of 25 fun for you? Of course it is. Okay. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't think this level's bad, but this is another one of those stages that I enjoyed. I think this should be tier 9, and some of the tier 9 stages we played should be brought up to tier 10. This is an impeccably designed and very fun level, but it took me a while to realize both of those things, because I was so distracted by the thing this level does best: appeal to my cat-like obsession with tiny enclosed spaces. What? It's just so satisfying, running back and forth in a single room, hitting all the switches one by one. It's slightly less fun in the larger rooms, where you have to actually have to backtrack to find the switches. It's not backtracking to find the switches. Oh, let me backtrack. Oh, I found the switch that I already found. No, you have to backtrack to flip the switch, not to find the switch. And then you have to play guess and test of which switches need to be actually flipped. But they're not dragged by any means. I disagree. I dislike that one larger room. The tackle fire dispenser setups are also well done. Yeah. And the Trucker Joe fight is a good visual gag that's well integrated with gameplay. The graphics are also on point, giving a real sense of progression as you go quite literally into the furnace. Anyone who thinks you need custom music or tiles to get a 15 out of 15 in aesthetics should take notes. The only real dour note is that if you shoot Dustman while he's jumping over a pile of molten garbage, he'll drop the energy element in the trash fire, where it's impossible to reach without suicide. Thankfully, this is difficult to trigger in normal play, but you already showed you knew how to use boss barriers during the Trucker Joe fight, so you can't claim ignorance as an excuse here. This is a minor issue though, one that shouldn't distract from the master craftsmanship on display here. Top tier material. I guess to fix that problem, You could just have as immediately as Dustman dies, there's like bridges that form where the gaps are, so the energy element couldn't possibly fall into that. I guess that would be the fix. I don't quite agree with MJack's scoring, but I guess the comments were actually mostly fine, except for the comparison to the cat-like obsession to... Okay. Man, it took a while to actually get into the furnace. I'd say that's the biggest problem this level has. It just goes on for too long. Thankfully, the checkpoints are spaced out pretty fairly to compensate, but that doesn't quite change the fact that the level drags on, and I'd say a few sections could have definitely been cut. For example, the long stretch to the left with various switches in the way just kind of felt there. There were some nice challenges in here though, such as going through the same set of fire traps with the way the platforms are set up changing each time. Overall, I'd say the box elements were put together pretty well, though I do want to say that the switch's introduction was a bit on the screwy side. The very first switch you flipped cannot be flipped back. The second switch, however, can, and it can be flipped as simply as jumping underneath it. And doing so takes you right into a bed of... yeah. That is definitely an issue. I think the solution to that, a very simple solution, just have two different color switches. One color switches back and forth, and the other only switches once. That way there's no question as to which is which, and then just put a sign box at the beginning stating which color does what. Boom, problem solved. I somehow have a feeling this wasn't noticed in the first place, but it's really surprising when you can't undo the first one. And unfortunately, our good pal Dustman ended up jumping in the lava a handful of times, making the level unbeatable without dying, as even if special weapons killed him, the energy element would still be in the lava. Though, while the level definitely has problems, I wouldn't call it bad by any means. It's one of those things where if one had more than 48 hours, something real nice could come out of this. Or another thing you could do is when Dustman is defeated, this could be a case where you have like a teleporter or something that goes to a different room where you pick up the energy element. That would be another solution to that problem. As opposed to like the previous stage where we just had generic fireman and then... well, that wasn't the immediate previous. The last stage where we fought fireman and then the wall gave way and you walk through and pick up an energy element. Like, why couldn't fireman have just dropped it? Here it would make sense to have the energy element on a different screen. The stairs do not work how I want them to work. Oh, we have a quest up there. I don't care about your quest. I don't care about the gimmick. I don't care about that. No, wait, that was a leaf. Why was there a little leaf? Is that Tengu Wind? Please don't be Tengu Wind. That leaf is terrifying me. That leaf terrifies me, even more so than that thing. I think if there's a tier 10 stage I'm not going to like, it's probably going to be this next one. We'll find out next time. So for now, I'll take my leave.